Last week, we explored the differences and looked at the purpose behind having an emergency fund and building your true expenses. Let's review real quick. Most people's go-to thought is, I probably need an emergency fund. And you do. In life, there is a 100% chance that some completely unpredictable event or cost will catch you absolutely off guard. And lucky you, this kind of fun, spontaneity, and excitement will probably happen more than once in your lifetime, making having an emergency fund even more crucial. But how much do we put in that emergency fund, and when exactly does something qualify as an emergency? Well, that is absolutely up to you, but one thing is certain. An emergency fund is meant to do just that, fund emergencies. True expenses is YNAB's hip, cool term for all those non-monthly expenses that we know are eventually coming our way, whether they're predictable or unpredictable. We are the firmest believers in the fact that the way to prevent future debt is by building these true expenses. For example, your car needing new brakes is definitely not a monthly expense, and while you couldn't have guessed the actual day the brakes would finally meet their demise, you knew deep down, one day my car won't work, and I'm gonna need to fix it. That's where building your true expenses comes in. If you create an auto repair category and toss a little money in there each month, then by the time the brakes need to be replaced, you're either ready to write that check, or that expense is very well funded and the cost won't take such a hit to your wallet. Now, YNAB saw that both emergency funds and true expenses are extremely important, and we actually learned that an emergency fund is a true expense. It's a sinking fund built specifically for emergencies. How handy. But would you believe there's actually one more way we encourage budgeters to get secure financially? It's perhaps one of the concepts we believe in the very most here at YNAB, and it's the idea of getting a month ahead in your finances. I understand that half of your eyes just rolled and you're getting ready to click out of the video. Because you just thought to yourself, I can barely pay my electric bill every month and they're telling me to get a whole month ahead in my finances? How's that gonna happen? Believe me, I completely understand the daunting feeling. But once we explore the beauty and the necessity of getting a month ahead in your finances, I hope that you'll be willing to give it a shot. So what does it actually mean to get a month ahead in your finances? Exactly what it sounds like. For every monthly expense or true expense that you budget for each month, you also will have budgeted for in the following month. Imagine it's May 1st. As you're working your way through May, you are desperately waiting for each paycheck to arrive. The bank balance dips between each paycheck and you are constantly crossing your fingers that you make it to the next one. And when it arrives, you quickly budget for all the things that have been waiting for money. That's called the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. But now, imagine an alternate universe. It's May 1st and you now wear glasses, but all the money you need for all of May's expenses is already in the bank. Why? How? Because you earned that money in prior months. Past you purposefully budgeted money out into May specifically to get ahead. You've now broken the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. First of all, just sit in that feeling. Security, resources, confidence, these are all things that are yours when you budget a month into your future. Now something out of the ordinary happens at the end of May and you're feeling a whole lot better, a whole lot less stressed, and maybe even a little sassy. Speeding ticket, you got nothing on me. Nothing. I may have shattered my fingertip, but I also shattered that medical bill. Secondly, if you're a month ahead in your finances and something happens to your income, either you lose your job or have to take some unpaid leave from work, you just bought yourself some time. You don't need to panic and find a job overnight. You are steady and secure for the next month, without a doubt. Not to mention, getting a month ahead in your finances not only puts you a month ahead in your important expenses, like rent and utilities, it also puts you a month ahead in your true expenses. If you've been tucking away $30 every month into a vet bills category, Fido's gonna be extra padded when he finally comes down with that annual ear infection. Come on, Fido. If you've been saving for the kids' summer camp all year long, maybe you get to pay their registration a whole month earlier than you thought. And you know what that means. First choice at top bunk. Now, for those of you that are absolutely overwhelmed at the idea of getting a month ahead in your finances, I 100% get you. It's another one of those awesome goals that we set for ourselves that just can't happen overnight. I, for one, have never been a month ahead in my finances because I always felt more obligated to put my money towards student loans or debt, but now I'm realizing Loans will eventually get paid off, but I need security now. So I'm currently in the middle of getting a month ahead in my finances as well. If you need an accountability buddy, I'm your girl. We can work toward this together, right? A while back, we asked our YNAB community, how long did it take you to get a month ahead in your finances? We found that the majority said it took about 4 to 6 months to get fully ahead once they started working on it, while others said it took about a year. In fact, Erin, the head of our education department here at YNAB, shared that it took her a whole year to get a month ahead in her finances, and she teaches this stuff. So we realized that this is no small task, and it is most certainly a process, but one that is more than worth dedicating your time and energy to. And for those of you who are still saying, I could seriously never do that, it was also Erin who told me a fun little story. Erin was a high school music teacher, and every year her students would come up to her asking, Miss Lowell, do you think I have a chance at making the state choir this year? So Erin would walk over to the whiteboard and grab an expo marker and say, studies have actually shown that students who audition for state choir have a much higher chance of making it than students who don't audition for state choir. Okay. In fact, the research also seemed to show that those who didn't audition for state choir had a 0% chance of making it almost every time. And was it not the great Michael Scott himself who quoted a quote of himself quoting Wayne Gretzky, saying, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take." Friends, don't ever let your fear of failure or inadequacy keep you from trying anything. For those of you who have paid off debt, even if it was just one small card, did that not seem like an impossible task when you first came to terms with how much money you owed? And yet, you did it. It probably wasn't the easiest or most comfy thing in the world, but now you're sitting pretty with your feet kicked up and your hair down. All because you took a shot at the seemingly impossible, and turns out you're a champion. Getting a month ahead in your finances doesn't mean you need to be bringing in a bajillion extra dollars a month to fund your future expenses. More realistically, what it looks like is saying, I wonder if I could shave $20 off my dining out category for this month so that I could put that money toward my dining out category for next month. What if I reallocated my travel fund contribution this month to building up next month's rent? Quite honestly, sometimes it feels like a game to me. It's fun. Where can I shave off a little money this month to put toward next month? It's a challenge, it's a game, and I'm competitive. So honestly, bring it on. I'm here for it. And the beauty is, guys, you don't need to stop at a month. Imagine it took you 8 months to get a month ahead in your finances, but then you realized, actually that wasn't that bad. If I keep living my life this way, maybe I can get 2 months ahead. And before you know it, you've become one of those crazy people on social media that builds up 6 months of income, packs up their life, and moves to Europe for a summer. I would love to be that person. But before we start dreaming of Europe, it starts with baby steps. Shaving a little money here and there and only focusing on getting 1 month ahead. Don't overwhelm yourself with the bigger picture just yet. Keep it small, keep it simple, and keep your adjustments reproducible and sustainable. You can be that person. With a dedicated mindset and a heart of patience, you can absolutely be that person. And we can't wait to see it. See you guys next week. And was it not the great Michael Scott? Everything looks the same.